Well, hello, David Taub here. Welcome, nextlevelguitar.com, and we've been getting a lot of questions and emails on hammer-ons and pull-offs and the correct technique to use when doing this. And I wanted to go over that and give you some exercises to help you and explain a little bit of the technique behind it. Hammer-ons and pull-offs are essential if you're going to be playing lead guitar, and it's something that you really want to practice to get good at. And the biggest thing I think that students have trouble with is a lot of times, especially with the pull-offs, is they're getting a lot of string noise and they can't get it to sound right, because there's a certain technique I think makes it a little bit easier. So what I'm talking about is I'm talking about like strong, strong hammers and pulls where you don't hear excessive string noise, but you're not picking everything. For instance, I was only like picking the first note in that sequence there. So what I want to do is I'm going to roll in close and show you this up close. But one of the most important things I think to be doing at this point in your playing, if you're working on lead guitar, is you really got to get your fret hand strong. I'm a big believer in the stronger your hand is, the more you're going to be able to work the notes, the more tone you're going to have. Okay, the better bends, the more control, the more accuracy. So you really have to have a strong and dexterous left hand, in my instance, because I'm a righty, or right hand if you're lefty, but fret hand. So you should be doing those finger exercises and dexterity exercises that I have on the website, and you should be doing those every day, 10 minutes a day if you can, and doing all the different patterns and all the different examples of all the different exercises. You don't have to do every exercise, it'll take you too long, but I'm saying break it up. Write it down in your practice log and get to those every day, because that helps strength, dexterity, ties the right and left hand together, good for the picking too. I also have on there a hammer exercise on the website where you're taking the notes and you're hammering them in a 1, 2, 3, 4 pattern up and down the fretboard. You should be doing those also, okay? So let me wheel in close and let's talk technique. Okay. Here I am with a tight shot of the neck, and for this example, let's stay in A minor pentatonic. Here's the 5th fret right here. Remember, always know where you're at and what key you're playing in. If you're just noodling around and practice, always know what key. It really helps in where you're at. So let's just stay like off of this. We're just going to play like 1 finger per fret off the box. Not even minor pentatonic, but we'll just use 1 finger per fret. Notice I'm not like this. 1 finger per fret. Very important. All right, the proper technique when doing a hammer and a pull is just put your first finger on the 5th fret, and I'm going to play the 5th fret, I'm going to hammer to the 6th fret and then pull off. I'm only going to pick one note. See, the second note is a hammer on and then a pull off. So I'm picking this A note, hammering with my 2nd finger on the B flat, and then pulling off to sound the A note again. And you got to get good at that with all your fingers. Okay, so what you have to get down is first the hammer on. Hammer on meaning you hammer with another finger without picking. I'm not picking that. And you got to come down hard and strike right on top of the note, no matter what string you're on. Here, it's on the B string. And that's the sound you want. Now, what you have to do too is notice I'm muting out with the palm of my hand all these other strings. If I'm playing on the high E string, my palm is resting on the bridge right here as I'm playing, so these other strings cannot be heard. So important to mute out all the notes you're not playing. If you're not familiar with that, I have a lesson in the intermediate section on using both hands together to mute out the strings. You got to get that down. That's an absolute must, or you're going to have lots of string noise. So watch that. So hammer down hard. That's the sound you want. So take first just your 1st and 2nd finger. A good exercise is just go right up and over and down and over the frets. Next fret. All hammer. 1 pick hammer, pick hammer, pick hammer. And go right up the fretboard. Then do it with your 1st and 3rd finger. Then do it with your 1st finger and your pinky. Okay? and get on the fingertip of the pinky, not this flat, fingertip, okay? And the other thing is, as per my lesson on string muting, if you notice my first finger, whenever I'm playing these notes up on whatever, the D string or the G, even the B, I always hook. I don't hold this finger flat, I hook it, because this part of my finger mutes out the high strings. See, I use my palm of my right hand, my pick hand, to mute the low strings. First finger always mutes the high strings. So like if I'm playing this C note here on the G string, on the 5th fret, look how my first finger, by lightly resting on the strings, not pushing down, but lightly resting, is muting the B and the high E strings. That's what you want. This way, that's the only note you can hear. So you don't hear these other strings. Alright, so remember, first exercise is the hammer. All fingers, and hammer hard. That'll build strength. And then go to your next finger. Okay, and then your pinky. Now the pull-off. The pull-off motion is downward. So you gotta pull. A lot of people try this. Here's a lot of the mistakes come in when doing pull-offs. They'll do a pull-off like this. See? What I'm doing there is I'm going into the note and then I'm coming back off of it. And that's not the correct technique with doing a pull-off. Come into the note on the hammer and then pull down. See how I sound? I'm only pick, hammer, pull. One and up. Do it over continuously is called a trill. T-R-I-L-L. So what I see a lot of students doing wrong with their hammer, with their pull-offs, is they're not pulling down. So you want to think like a downward pull. And if you hear this high E string ringing out, that means that you're not muting it with the first finger. See, I'm playing now the B string, that E note on the 5th fret, but my finger is slightly hooked. There's a good look at it. So it's muting out the high E string. So even if my finger hits it on when it pulls down, it's not going to hear it. See, that string is muted. Now do the same thing in that one end we were doing with the hammer on, but now you do a hammer and pull up and down the strings with each finger. So if you start it wherever, here's the 3rd fret. Now do you hear that cleanness? You don't hear any other strings ringing because I'm muting them all out. And you hear 3 notes. So start slow. Hammer hard, pull down. And then do it with your 1st and 3rd finger. Right? No matter where you are. Pick, hammer, pull down. Pick, next string, B string. Pick, hammer, pull down. G string. Pick, hammer, pull down. All while muting the other strings. Pick, hammer, pull. And then your pinky, which is probably going to be your hardest one, but guess what? This is going to build strength. 3 notes you want to hear. And then when you get good at that exercise, take 1st finger, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th with those 3 notes, one end of each string. It'll sound like this. And do it all on one string. Again, we're building strength and you're practicing your hammers and pulls. To practice the muting, start moving it up. You gotta mute the strings. Same exercise now on the B string. G string. Notice 3 notes every time clean, 1 picked, no string noise. Okay? Then do it where you stay on each note in a trill. Hold each one till you feel the burn. You'll probably start to feel a burn right in this part of your forearm. That's good. That's what you want. That's going to build strength. So you're doing a continuous hammer, pull, hammer, pull, hammer, pull. No pick. You're only picking 1 time, just the first note. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. When you hear it, feel a burn, go to the next finger. Mute all the other strings with the palm of your pick hand. Now go to your pinky. That's going to be probably your weakest. See, I still haven't picked. I picked one note, the first note. This is all hammers and pulls. Hammer, pull, hammer, pull, hammer, pull, hammer. Still have not picked another note. And do that up string. Do it till you feel that burn. You'll feel it in your wrists. You'll feel it in the forearm. Okay? Just remember, pull-offs, very important. You gotta mute the strings and concentrate on, don't hit the note and come like straight off. Pull down, downward pull to sound that off. And then try doing one pick, and then we're gonna play like 5, 7, the A note, the B flat, and the C note, or on the high string, 5, 7, 9. Pick, hammer, hammer, pull, pull. Up. Now, after a while, you don't have to pick that first note anymore. All hammers. Pick, hammer, hammer, pull, pull, hammer, pull, pull, hammer, pull, pull, hammer, pull, pull. Pick, hammer, hammer, pull, pull. Hammer, hammer, pull, pull. Hammer, hammer, pull, pull. So you hear the string noise now because I'm not muting the strings, but I want to show you I'm not using my left hand. And then do it on the B string. Then try it with your first, third, and fourth finger. Notice only one pick. Hammer, hammer, pull, pull. Hammer, hammer, pull, pull. Hammer. Okay? So there's a ton of exercises that I want you to practice. Okay? And I want you to move those around like I showed you. And really work. Now you're going to find you're going to get fatigued. Okay? If you're feeling big pain, stop. You're not going to be able to do this extensively at first because you're going to need to build strength, and this really will build strength, and you'll find yourself bending notes better, hitting higher bends, bending minor thirds, and a lot easier. If you want to move up in string gauge, it'll be easier because your hand will be stronger. This is the proper technique. You have to really get this down, and it's so critical to watch the other module on string muting with both hands. Okay? So incorporate these hammer and pull exercises into your daily practice regimen, 5 to 10 minutes a day, every day. Pick up that guitar. You have a few spare 5 minutes here, spare 5 minutes while you're waiting for your laundry to dry, waiting for the potatoes in the oven. Pull out your guitar and go through some of these exercises. They really help. And then later, once your hand gets stronger, we'll start skipping frets and doing the same exercises, but you're going to be going, instead of like one, we're going to skip over frets. And guess what? That'll get you a bigger stretch. Okay? And again, bigger stretch, able to hit better, further intervals, more strength, more tone. I'm David Taub. You rock, and you could do it. Stay positive. Rome wasn't built in a day. Keep chipping away at it. You'll get it. Rock on.